Hello, my name is Anthony Yang with the California Energy Commission, and in today's presentation, I'll be going over some of California's efforts in advancing clean energy technologies and bringing them to market. California is home to some of the most ambitious climate and energy policies in the nation and the world. To meet the threat posed by climate change, California has set high-level targets of reducing greenhouse gas emissions to 40% below 1990 levels by 2030 and to 80% below 1990 levels by 2050. To complement these goals, California has set increasing targets for renewable energy generation. The bar is now set at achieving a 100% clean electricity grid by 2045. To achieve these ambitious goals, California needs to transform the way it generates, distributes, and uses energy in our homes, businesses, industries, and vehicles from a largely fossil fuel-based system to a system that uses clean and renewable sources of energy. Innovations in renewable generation, energy efficiency, storage, and other areas will help us accelerate this transformation at lower cost. Now, California is no stranger to innovation. Some of the biggest and most influential companies of the past 20 years call California home. Companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook started as humble ideas in garages and dorm rooms before becoming the global companies they are today. That same entrepreneurial spirit remains strong in California. And investors have responded, pouring billions into internet startups hoping to find the next big thing. After the dot-com bust in the early 2000s, venture capital investments in internet-based companies surged, and in 2019, nearly $45 billion was invested into internet startups. The clean energy technology sector, by comparison, has not received as much enthusiastic support from investors. The peak was in 2008, with the clean energy sector receiving $5.6 billion, before plummeting to less than $2 billion in 2013. And by 2019, venture capital investments in clean energy companies was just $4.9 billion. Why the big difference? Well, for one, it takes time and money to transform an innovative idea into a profitable business. All new companies must cross this valley of death, but clean energy companies often take more time and money to cross this valley than a typical internet-based company. Advancements in clean energy technologies often start with breakthroughs in fundamental science and can take many years before that breakthrough can be translated into a product or service that is ready for customers. Along the way, these companies need equipment to run experiments, machinery to fabricate parts, and test sites to run demonstrations. Making things more challenging, most clean energy technologies must compete against entrenched incumbent technologies that have had the benefits of decades of scale. These are challenges that your typical internet startup does not have to face. So with the private sector unwilling to fund clean energy innovations at the levels necessary to support our climate and energy goals, publicly funded research and development programs can fill this critical gap. The Energy Commission's Electric Program Investment Charge, or EPIC, is one such program. The mission of EPIC is to strategically invest funds in scientific and technological research to accelerate the transformation of the electricity sector to meet the state's energy and climate goals. Within the EPIC program's larger investment portfolio is an effort specifically focused on supporting clean energy entrepreneurs and startups throughout California. Called the Entrepreneurial Innovation Ecosystem, this effort is a series of programs designed to help clean energy startups along in their journey to bring their ideas to market. The first program is called the California Sustainable Energy Entrepreneur Development Initiative, or CalSeed. CalSeed provides early-stage companies or individuals up to $150,000 to develop their ideas into proof of concepts. The most promising concepts are awarded $450,000 in additional funds to turn those proof of concepts into working prototypes. CalSeed is a high-risk, high-reward program that seeks to find emerging technologies that have the greatest potential for impact. The next program is the California Testbed Initiative, or CalTestBed. CalTestBed is a voucher program that provides clean energy entrepreneurs access to nearly 30 testing facilities throughout the state in order to conduct independent technology testing and validation. Access to expensive testing equipment is often a barrier for clean energy technology startups, but the third-party validation that comes with testing can be critical in demonstrating a technology's performance to potential customers. Next, we have the Bringing Rapid Innovation Development to Green Energy, or BRIDGE program. BRIDGE, as the name implies, is meant to support companies as they transition from conducting initial pilot demonstrations to attracting customers in their first target market. To qualify, applicants must have received prior funding from either a federal agency or the Energy Commission. Bridge is a mechanism that allows for providing continued support of promising energy technologies. Towards the later stage of technology development, we have the Realizing Accelerated Manufacturing Production, or RAMP program. RAMP is an epic solicitation program that supports clean energy entrepreneurs' transition from one-off prototype manufacturing to an initial pilot production line capable of conducting low-rate initial production. This is the beginning stages of a company being able to achieve a larger scale. Finally, we have the Regional Energy Innovation Clusters, which are a set of 4 EPIC-funded incubation, acceleration, and mentorship programs that collectively provide entrepreneurial support services such as access to laboratory equipment and facilities, business plan development, and connection to investors throughout the state. The 4 programs are Cyclotron Road in the Bay Area, Blue Tech Valley covering the Central Valley and North State, the Southern California Energy Innovation Network in the San Diego region, and the Innovators Program in the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator for the Los Angeles region. Each cluster evaluates startup companies within their respective regions and, if accepted, designs an entrepreneurial assistance and mentorship program that leverages the region's universities, research institutions, industries, business, economic development organizations, and other key regional stakeholder groups. This guidance helps energy entrepreneurs focus their limited time and resources on the most critical activities for developing their technology and business. Together, these programs make up a concerted effort to support clean energy development in California by building the human and digital infrastructure and networks necessary to support clean energy entrepreneurship across the state, as well as creating a more streamlined framework for developing and commercializing new energy technologies, and lastly, leveraging California's existing capacity, including universities, national labs, technology companies, and nonprofits, all to support new clean energy ventures. Now, I'd like to share with you a few examples of companies and technologies that we've supported in this ecosystem. Antora Energy is building a low-cost thermal battery for grid-scale energy storage, which tackles one of the biggest challenges in integrating large amounts of renewable energy onto the electric grid. Since renewable resources like sunlight and wind are intermittent, we sometimes produce more energy than we need to use at any given time. We need to have a way to store this excess generation for use at a later time. Antora Energy's system does this by storing energy in a low-cost thermal storage medium at high temperature. The system converts the high-temperature medium back into electricity through an innovative thermal photovoltaic heat engine. The result is a system that has the potential to store energy for days instead of hours. Antora Energy is currently getting ready to launch a full-scale demonstration of their system in California. Ubiquitous Energy is developing a transparent photovoltaic film that allows visible light to pass through while absorbing ultraviolet and infrared light. The film also has an added benefit of providing insulation. When applied to glass, this technology transforms a window into a source of renewable energy generation with additional energy efficiency benefits. There is great potential in applying this technology to large commercial buildings that typically have limited roof space for traditional solar PV systems, but have large glass facades that can take advantage of this new technology. Ubiquitous Energy is currently working on scaling up the production of their film to address different window sizes so they can demonstrate their technology's performance at various scales. CABAN Systems is developing a turnkey solar PV plus battery storage system that can be paired with telecommunication towers in order to provide a reliable and clean source of primary or backup power to this critical piece of infrastructure. CABAN's system allows communication networks to remain active even in the event of a disaster such as a fire or an earthquake. CABAN currently has installations in 4 different countries and is scaling up their manufacturing production line in California to meet increasing customer demand. So these are just a few examples of the inspiring entrepreneurs that we have the privilege of supporting. And together, we're working on building a clean energy future for everyone. Thank you.